Hi, my name is Stephen Watson, and I am going to try and keep this video as short as I can and touch on all the bases, because I'm going to deposit this video on my website. That was my project 3 for EDU 4400. This is my retrospective project. And so the website will lead you to some more materials on the color theory lesson, which is my first project. Obviously the website itself, which is my final project. So first off, I will open by addressing this retrospective project itself. So it says Standard 9, Professional Learning Ethical Practice. The teacher engages in ongoing professional learning and uses evidence to continually evaluate his or her practice, particularly the effects of his or her choices and actions on others, learners, families, other professionals, and the community, and adapts practice to meet the needs of each learner. So to address that directly in opening, I do engage in ongoing professional learning. I'm a member of NCAEA, which is the North Carolina Art Education Association. I'm also a member of the National Association. But the state association has a conference every year, as is the annual. This year it was online, and I attended as a student and will continue to attend as a teacher. So as an attendee, I got to participate in a number of breakout sessions over 3 days to learn, and keep up on all of the current trends in terms of art education, whether it be materials, lesson plans, philosophies, theories, etc. All the above were covered. In addition to that, I was fortunate enough to be accepted as a speaker. So I got to do a presentation as well. So I was a presenter at the conference as well, along with some of my peers from one of my classes. We presented some of the lesson plans that we came up with for an after-school program. That certainly is engaging and ongoing. In terms of the effects on choices and actions of others with learners and families and the community, and adapting needs, this semester, this school year, I think has been an exercise in all of those things. And I've been fortunate enough to be in the classroom this semester, 10 weeks in high school and 5 weeks in an elementary school. The 10 weeks, I should change that slightly to say that in high school it was online, so I wasn't in the classroom, but I was able to teach and be a part of what's going on and the delivery of things. So it was a learning experience in terms of adaptation of delivery of information to the children, and also in terms of understanding the complexities of the problems that the families, that my coworkers within my profession, and the students and the community are struggling with, and what it means to be a teacher at times like these. And so all of those things were highlighted, adapting, and largely what I saw in the teachers that I know, whether they're my own kids' teachers. Have been a stay-at-home dad to 4 children, so I've seen it through the teachers that we know, and I've seen it with the teachers that I have worked with. And it's quite remarkable how adaptive and how much hard work they've put in to do that. So not only am I participating in that, but I clearly can see that they all are too. So I learned a great deal this semester. My first project, so the 3 projects I did for this class, one was a color theory lesson plan. And so I developed that for online delivery because of the circumstances. So I have a lecture portion that was delivered via Zoom meeting, and then I have videos that I filmed. We provided boxes of supplies for the students. So the classroom teacher, the clinical teacher, and I packed up boxes for each of the kids to pick up at the school, so that they had supplies for the projects that they needed. They were able to make certain requests too, so they could still enjoy the personal expression that art provides. And so that is on this website. So this video is placed on the website, which is my third project. And so above you'll see a button called Standard 9, and under that you'll see the materials for the color theory lesson if you're interested in seeing some more of those details. But the color theory lesson took them through everything from the physics of color in terms of light and its components, the biology of color in terms of how the eye sees things and processes light, that white light hits an object and absorbs a certain part of the spectrum and reflects another part, and then our eye processes that information, and then took them through various artistic terms in terms of complementary colors and analogous colors, and how to use them, and how to use them in two ways. One, to recognize why something's not quite working, and also to use them in clever and intentful ways that if you want there to be tension, if you want things to look unusual, that you have the professional knowledge to be able to do so. And then we took them through a project where they used all that information and used an Adobe product to scan in a famous painting of their choosing. So again, they got personal choice, to then analyze the colors used in the painting, and in turn then recreate it with brush and canvas and acrylic paint. So we also I did film some demonstrations for them as well that are all available through the link above as well. So my ongoing evaluating practice and my evidence to continue self-evaluation, I think, is in much of what I've just said and the videos that I've provided. When I first got into education, that was not something that I fully appreciated would be as important as it turned out to be. So that's all an evolving practice on my part, and it's something that my clinical teacher and I are sort of learning together, which is great. And I think the students benefit from, and the other benefit is that they can do it on their own time. So in terms of students with different needs, whether under the current circumstances, their emotional needs, or if they have IEPs or 504s or other identified or unidentified needs, they can learn at their own pace. They can pause, they can rewind. So I think the videos are actually really great tools for kids with all sorts of needs. And in terms of different types of learners and DI, it's interesting because my first degree is in architecture. So when I graduated high school, teachers weren't teaching for different types of learners. It wasn't a concept. And so, but it was something that really struck a chord with me, because I'm one of those people that I think that would have benefited from that, because I've always really enjoyed mathematics and physics and art, primarily because of the hands-on nature of things that you get to learn by doing, and you get to explore, and you get to wander a little bit, and you observe and learn new things from the actions that you take and your interactions with the materials and so on and so forth. So I really did appreciate that on a personal level, but because of my architectural background, we obviously, I was in college at the time where architecture really did turn and take a focus to using and designing spaces for people. That things like firehouses weren't just garages with kitchens and bunk beds. They were homes. And to pay attention to how people use spaces and how the psychology of spaces and how things, in areas made people feel, providing cancer wards where, they weren't blocked in these stark white rooms, that they were brightly colored and had windows and views, and the size of doors and how doors open, and stairs, and the location of elevators, and all these sorts of things in terms of the flow of human traffic, as well as the needs of different types of individuals, whether you were in a wheelchair or whether you were, whatever your needs might be, physical or otherwise. signs in Braille and those sorts of things. And so again, the fact that that has been adapted and adopted for education was something that I took to fairly easily because of my architectural practice. But also I'd seen it through my children too, because their teachers obviously engage with that too. And so their teachers, knowing that I am now becoming a teacher, they have also been great resources for me, and I've spent time in all of their classrooms over the years and continue to do so even before my clinical experience this semester. So the three main projects, color theory, lesson plan, ceramics. I researched ceramics as a refresher. I use that as a, part of this, part of the premise of this retrospective and Standard 9 in particular is that as teachers, we are always looking to better ourselves. We're always looking to make sure that we're staying up with the current information, that we know as best we can the things we need to know, and that all comes with practice. And that all comes with spending time, whether it be reading or attending conferences. And so I use that second project to revisit ceramics, knowing that I'm going to be teaching that. And so I don't have the opportunity to take that while I'm at ECU because I already have an existing degree, but I also have experience in that area. It's just a little bit dated. So I took advantage of that to revisit ceramics and update myself on the current technologies of kilns and slips and clays and glazes and all those sorts of things, and different methodologies for firing. And now people have kind of crafted different ways to do raku firing in their backyards and things like that. So it was a really interesting research project that garnered a number of different videos that I'd be able to share with my students. So those are included in the link above. And then of course the website, and the website is where this video is housed. And the intent of the website was to provide my students, my parents, art club, study abroad students, as best I can, as well organized as possible, all the information they would need. And so I researched a number of existing art websites, art teacher websites, in order to kind of distill what it was that I wanted in my class website. So it's obviously there's little content there because I don't have a class just yet, but what I wanted was the skeleton on which to build the muscle. And so I believe I've got a pretty good skeleton there. I'm pretty happy with what I've got there, that I can start adding the content and the kids' work and documents and lesson plans and all that sort of stuff moving forward. Yeah, I think that about covers it all. I will continue to attend the North Carolina Art Education Association conferences. They're a wealth of information, and as the years go by, hopefully I will get to present at them again as I did this year. And otherwise, poke around the website, get a feel for some of the projects that I worked on this semester, and hopefully this video covers all those points. So thanks for your time.